Welcome back to another one. Oh, finally got my mic connected. Yes, I know I'm not. Oh, just waiting for an opening. There you go. That's an opportunity. I know I'm not wearing my full gear. I'm actually in shorts and a t-shirt. Probably something I shouldn't be advertising. But it's probably one of the hottest days today, and tomorrow's going to be even hotter. We're going to go through the CBT experience. What's it like to do your CBT? What's it for? Why I think you should do one. Whether you're planning to ride a motorbike or not. And which CBT you can get, you know, what CBT you should be going for. There are two types, if you didn't know. You do have the automatic CBT, which gets you ready to ride a scooter. And then you have the manual CBT that gets you onto geared bikes, where you have the clutch and gear shifter and so on. And then which one I think you should do? I'm going to ride to Epping Forest, go towards Epping, and then I'll get back to you over there. Alright, so before we get to Epping Forest, I might as well explain what the CBT actually is. As you may already know, it's not a test. It's just the compulsory basic training. It is the stepping stone for you to then progress onto your full license. So you'll learn the basics before you start doing your training for your full license. It's usually it should be a day. Should be a day's worth of training, 8 hours, about that. Where you go on public roads. Probably might end up going on roads like this. Depends on where you're doing your test. Where I have been, I've done about 4 full CBTs and 2 renewals. So when you do your CBT, the first one that you do, if you are just going to do one, right, you do the full CBT where you spend 8 hours. It should be 4 hours on. Oh God, bloody hell. All right, where you spend 4 hours inside of a car park. You do a couple of basic controls, learn how to use the controls of the bike. If you're doing a geared CBT, you might spend a little bit of extra time learning how to shift the gears, doing clutch control, trying to move the bike with just the clutch before shifting or anything like that. And then if you're on your automatic, just learning how to do slow controlled movements, because if you can't control it slowly, there's no way you're going to be in control at speed. And also it's harder to control a bike when it's going really, really slow. A lot harder, especially if you're like 2 miles an hour. Right, a lot of riders, they'll just put their feet down. If you can keep your balance, really good. Learning how to use your brakes, which brakes you should use when you're doing your turns and so on. But yeah, you're guided the whole way. It's inside of a car park, which is usually very smooth. And yeah, it's basic training, you know. So you're doing very easy stuff, learning the absolute basics before you do anything that goes on the road. And then the last 4 hours, you will spend, I think it's 2 hours riding. You'll usually go with 2 riders. One of you will go in the front. Let's say rider 1, rider 2. They usually give you numbers if you don't want to remember your name. Rider 1 will go out ahead. You go on the road. Examiner or instructor will tell you, turn left, turn right. Follow signs for. I know that on one of my CBTs they did do that, where they said follow signs for Tottenham Hale or something like that, right? And yeah, it's basically they just take you on a little route. You go do a little ride around. They'll give you some pointers on how you're riding and so on, and then they'll give you some advice at the end of the training for you to better work on. You know, they might say be wary of your positioning. Do a little bit of extra lifesavers, but generally, if you've got a bit of common sense, should be all good. All right. Now there are ways for you to fail. All right. Not that you can really fail. You just don't pass. So it's not really a fail. You just don't succeed. You don't get your certificate at the end of the day. Some of which would include if you don't speak English, you can't learn anything. So I've been there where one geezer came with his friend, and the examiner asked some questions. What'd you do at a red light? And his buddy was like trying to translate in to him, what'd you do at a red light? To say stop, you know. Like things like that. And then the instructor said stop explaining it to him, and then the instructor took him to the side and said, all right, cool, off you go home. You clearly don't understand what I'm saying, so you have to leave, right? That's one of the reasons why you would fail. So I'm surprised how a lot of the delivery drivers don't speak English, but they pass the CBTs. I don't know. And then another one is if you turn up with the unsafe attire, for example, like me, trainers, everything that I am wearing apart from the helmet would get me sent home. Well, not wearing, more like. I'm not wearing the full trousers. If you wear jeans, not the stretchy ones, the proper tough jeans, you should be okay. If you wear boots that cover your ankles, you should be okay. No trainers, just don't wear trainers. Don't wear dress shoes. Don't wear anything silly. No open toe, obviously. And then rider jacket, need to wear a proper jacket. A lot of centres will have jackets, helmets, things that you can borrow. Some things that you have to purchase, like gloves and proper shoes. They will give you an option. Not will, depends on the centre that you go to. Some of them do, some of them don't have the option to purchase. I prefer it's safe too, because maybe you might think one pair of shoes is good. You turn up and they say, no, it's not good. And then you have the option to purchase. Yeah, all the CBT is just to prepare you to be on the road. It's basically, if you could imagine, what can I use as a good analogy? I mean, I don't know what analogy I could use. Trying to think of something that is similar to a CBT, where it's very easy to pass and so on. But yeah, it is quite basic. It's just giving you the basic knowledge to keep yourself safe. After the CBT, they will tell you it's your responsibility to read up on the highway code and do some further learning to prepare yourself for either further education or for you to do your full license, to prepare yourself to start doing your theory tests and so on and so forth. I told my CBT instructor that I would be doing my full license after, and then also be doing the extended advanced motorcycle training afterwards. So I asked my instructor, be as difficult as possible to me, right? Be as hard as you can. And a lot of the instructors, they are very much like teachers. They got into the job because they want to teach. They want to bring more people onto the road. They want to share motorcycling to new riders. They want to keep riders safe. The only way to stay safe is by doing the education, right? So they educate. That's the reason why they do it. So if you let them know that you want to do your full license, you're prepared to do full license, you're preparing to do your advanced training, you really care about being safe on the road, I tell you what, they will give you the most advice that they can. So my first CBT that I did, first time I ever touched a motorbike or so on and so forth, it was an automatic CBT. Now what that does is prepares you to ride a scooter, as I've mentioned already, but a little heads up, just because you did the automatic CBT does not mean that you are restricted to only riding an automatic motorbike when you get your bike. If you are going to ride on that CBT on a 125, then you can get a geared bike, all right? You don't have to do the manual CBT to ride a manual bike. You won't be stuck with an automatic, so don't worry. If it's your first time and it's a little bit daunting doing something that's geared, that's perfectly fine to go with the automatic, and then in your own time you can learn to ride a manual bike, all right? You can practice on your friend's bike in a car park or so on and so forth, you know. Just make sure you do it whilst you're safe. yeah, it's a good idea to lift my head up and have a real look. And all of those CBTs were all on automatic bikes. I did nothing on a geared bike, nothing at all on geared. And then I ended up riding a geared motorbike. My friend taught me how to ride on the geared bike in a car park, as I mentioned. You do it in a car park, you know how to shift out of first, second, shift down, and then you buy your own bike and then destroy your gearbox. That's essentially how it works. Yeah, so I taught myself how to ride the rest of it. I did the basics on my friend's bike, then got my own bike and then did it on my own. As you find out, yes it is 40. Oh, what the fuck. He couldn't wait for the 40 slide. He had to do that beforehand. That's why they say check your mirrors before you change your speed. Ah, what was I saying? Oh no! Is he gonna stop to block me? Is he? Of course he is. Of course he is. He's got space ahead. Yeah, space ahead. That was pretty smart, wasn't it? If you want to progress onto getting a full license, this is where it's important. You must do the automatic CBT. Not automatic. You must do the manual CBT. That is a must. When I wanted to do my full license, I explained to the geezers there at the CBT center that I already know how to ride a manual bike. I can ride a manual bike. I've been riding one for 3 years plus. Can I just do my full license? No, you must do your whizzing on the 1-2s. Come on, mate. You must do your manual CBT before you can start learning how to ride the big bikes. I was like, oh mate, that's so long, but those are the rules, you know. All of the tests and so on are just to keep you safe, so you know what I mean? That's what it is. Now, I went to do the manual bike, and then, as I did mention, I spoke to the instructor and I said I'm going to do my full license soon, and I'm going to do the advanced training. And this instructor was probably the best instructor I had ever had. He went really in depth in all of the riding positions, what to expect when I do my full license, what to expect if I do my advanced training and so on. It was amazing. I couldn't fault that instructor at all. Couldn't fault it at all. Absolutely amazing. Gave me buckets of confidence, which is essentially what you really want when you know you're going to do a test. Confidence is key, right? Confidence is so key. So what you really want from your CBT is for them to give you confidence to know when you get on the bike, not only are you going to pass, but you're going to be safe. You know what I mean? You know, not only are you going to pass the test, but you know you're going to be safe when you're riding on your own. You know you're going to be safe when you're riding with the instructors. You know, you want to know that there's nothing to worry about, and then you can focus on what is more important, which is keeping yourself safe when you're actually on the bike. Oh, look at this baby. Look at this baby. 650 beauty, man. All right. Gonna take a break there, gonna have something to eat, and we'll finish the video. Okay, time to get back on the bike. The heat is really turning up, man. Oh my god. Once you do your CBT, which I guarantee you will pass. Okay, once again, it's an accomplishment to fail, I'll tell you that. It's like you've done something that many people find difficult to do. If you fail that CBT, right? But yeah, after you do your CBT, what's next? What do you do? Well, you can go straight into doing your full license, right? You do have also 2 years before you have to redo your CBT, and your CBT expires, because your CBT does have an expiry date of 2 years after you've done your CBT the first time. Okay? So you have a choice. You can either do your full license straight away, or you can do your CBT, stay on it for 2 years, and do a renewal, which is a shortened CBT, which is slightly cheaper too, but it's for riders who already have done their CBT before and they're just redoing it to get you know, just I think it's just for the paperwork, to be honest. Nothing really changes. They don't really go over anything new, at least from my perspective. But some of the instructors may advise you to start moving on towards doing your full license if they see that you're really good. What I would advise you to do after doing your first CBT is getting a 125 and train on that for a bit. Right? Learn how to read the road, learn how to read other drivers, learn how to do all of the maneuvers and so on. It's better to do that on a small bike, right? You don't have to worry about the bike doing something, you know, jumping, losing control of the bike and so on at high speed. Yeah, it's just a lot better, less stressful, and it's a lot safer to do it that way. I did was stay on the CBT for a really long time. I learnt the road once again. I was a delivery driver, delivery rider, so I spent a lot of time on the road doing loads of miles. I did trips to Loughborough and so on, back and forth. So I got really comfortable being on the bike, which made it really easy for me to do my full test afterwards, because I had lots of confidence. I was aware of the road. I had 360 vision at all times. You know, one of the most important things to have when you're on a bike is awareness. Develop your ability to have full awareness, 360. You need to know what's behind you, to your left and right at all times, as I did with that car that was overtaken really closely. A lot of the time when a car's about to do a dangerous overtake, I see it well before it happens. Nothing really catches me on surprise. So yeah, it's a good opportunity for you to teach yourself, learn how to ride with other riders, and build your confidence, because once again, confidence is the key for passing your full bike test. Okay, so I'd advise you go on your 125. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You know, you don't have to listen to me. That's just my advice I give you, and I give to almost every rider. Just get a little 125, even a CB 125F. You can get one for £700, right? Which is cheaper than doing your full license anyways. Get one for £700. Ride around in your local area. Ride to work and back every day for a year. In the wet. Ride in the wet. Ride in the snow. Do it. Obviously not at high speeds, but you need to be confident in yourself and the way you ride. Oh, he's pulling out. Oh. But you see, I read that car over there. He's got his left indicator on. I know to pull out. This guy's going slowly, going around, watching that BMW. Most likely going to pull out in front of me. No, he's not. Going to take this left here, and lovely stuff. Okay, being able to read multiple cars at once, because they all want to do something different. They're all impatient. They all want to push in front of you, so on and so forth. You need to see that ahead of time. It's really important. I think I went the wrong way. Yeah, I definitely went the wrong way. It doesn't matter. This is a nice road anyways. Right? Ride in the city. If you can, there's more traffic there. More things are happening. You'll learn a lot faster when you ride in the city. There's so many intersections. So many things to react to. Learn how to do your positioning to keep yourself safe, and then go on and do your get ready to start doing your full license after that. Then all should be dandy, should be lovely. Oh, it's a beautiful road, this lovely road, such a lovely road. Yeah, if you're somebody who's worried about doing your CBT, I guarantee everything's going to be okay, right? The fact that you're watching videos, right? And that's another thing. If you want to make sure that you pass your CBT, watch more videos. YouTube is a great place to learn. Watch videos from examiners, from their perspective, where they watch other riders. It is, in my perspective, better to watch not CBT videos, to watch full license videos. Because if you can do something to that standard, where the person is learning how to do their full license, learning how to ride for their full access, their DAS, then 100% you'll pass your CBT, right? Shoot for the stars, and then you'll be able to get to the moon easily. That's a horrible analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say. I want to make sure that I can help other riders, if it's at all helpful, get onto their bikes, get a CBT, get full license eventually, and then start riding, having some fun. There you go, we've got national speeds coming up. Oh, nationals, yeah. Still got to be wary of that front tyre, quite slippery. Oh, you say you got to have a fast bike to enjoy the roads. Get out of here, mate. Get out of here, mate. And then also, once you pass your CBT, you can ride the bikes. You know, you can ride the bikes. Right? You can ride the bikes. I mean, fair enough. You have your L plate. You're not allowed to take a pillion. But yeah, the riding is just where it's at. I mean, you won't be able to do that, no. Right? But you have the freedom to enjoy the roads around you, and explore. I went with my friend who's on his CBT, and we went to Eastbourne. You know what I mean? You don't have to take. Oh, I want to go down that road. I want to go down there, see what's down there. Yeah. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Good luck with your CBTs, and enjoy the roads. I'm going to do a U-turn this way. Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyways, goodbye.